So listen, this is I know Sean's favorite part of the show, the cold open.
Super fun,
Chat and chew.
But no. That is his really favorite part of the show is what follows here. After the fun music, he gets to do his coffee chat. But right now, he sort of welcomes the listener in.
Right. How you doing?
And,
how's everybody going?
Gets a sense of everything. Asks everybody how they're doing.
And then like a little funny quip, like what's the bit gonna be? You know what I mean?
Or I could do a dad joke. You
can do
or
a dad joke.
I could do like something like I asked.
I know you could do that.
Yeah.
Or you could just say to our audience, you could just say, "Hi, welcome to SmartLess."
Welcome to SmartLess.
SmartLess.
I have to say something. Okay, this year, you guys, two of my best friends in the whole world, both of you, are doing some of the best work I've ever seen you do. I'm hanging out with Will on the set of his movie, and I've seen some footage, and Will, the work is truly, truly incredible.
This is what I'm hearing, Will.
Truly incredible, mind-blowing. I've never seen, people are going to be blown away.
Not surprised.
And Jay, when I sat down and watched Black Rabbit, I've already spoken about it. This year is so exciting. I'm so excited for people to see both of you in these two incredible pieces. And I know you cringe when I say this, pieces of art, because I do believe that they're two pieces of art.
Thank you coming from the reigning Tony Award-winning.
Yeah. Well, that's not why I said it. That's not why I said it.
But you set the tone.
All right, sure.
For us, you kind of led out, and what a performance!
Really spicy from the Tabasco Theater.
and now
that was unexpected.
Nobody thought.
Watch him go back.
That's as he's getting yanked out.
Nobody.
Let me finish.
When
do we start recording this episode, you guys? I got a hard out.
I know.
Listen.
Sean, your guess is going crazy.
Do you want me to, I know I'm going to get there, but do you want me to ask you guys a thoughtful question that we can riff on? Or I can have a joke, or we can just get to the guest.
Choice of patter today, huh?
Yeah. What do you want?
What's happening?
You've had some time. We haven't done one of these in a couple of weeks. I guess you've got some.
That's what I'm saying.
Material.
That's what I'm saying.
I'd love a dad joke.
I like a joke.
A dad joke. Okay, well, I can do a dad joke. I can also do this is a great joke I just heard yesterday.
Fuck, you have genres of jokes, too? You have subsections to your...
All right, so this patient is in a urologist office, and the doctor says, well, the result is that you got to stop masturbating. And the patient says, why? And the doctor says, because I'm talking to you.
I love it.
Really? I thought that was funny.
I love it. I love it.
Wait, and then
I've got one like that, but I don't have it yet.
You know what?
Fully, it's old.
How about this?
It's rusty.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why did the Mexican take anti-anxiety medication?
Careful.
For Hispanic attacks.
Oh, that's all right. That's okay.
I feel like that's okay.
All right, great. Yeah.
But also,
let's get to the
also, for the record, no reaction.
I have zero reaction. Story of my life. Ready? Here we go.
America guffawing.
Guys, my guest today, who's far funnier than I am, grew up in the Kansas City area, and he's a diehard Kansas City Chiefs fan. He's the co-owner of a candy store in Rhinebeck, New York.
Paul Rudd.
And he once said his secret for staying youthful and fit is 8 hours of sleep.
You got to bury the tell
People
stuff.
often still mistake him for Ben Affleck. He met his wife when looking for a publicist after filming Clueless. It's the hilarious, delightful, and widely talented Paul Rudd.
What? Paul?
Wait, did you guys already?
Slight reveal.
He's doing his mouth.
Yeah. He's just doing a slight reveal.
This is long.
Wait, how did you know he was from Kansas City?
Guys, because there's only a few. There's Claire McCaskill, there's Rob Riggle, there's Jason Sudeikis, and there's Paul Rudd.
How do you know that?
Paul, do you get mistaken for Claire McCaskill a lot?
I get a lot of her emails. Okay, and it's usually when they talk about the three from KC,
The big three.
It's Sudeikis, me, and McCaskill.
How is it taking this long for Sean? I feel like this is Sean's fault.
Couldn't make your deal any earlier than now. And now finally you've given us a manageable price.
Aline Kashishian was rough in the negotiation.
She banged us up on that.
Oh, are you with Aline too, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a package.
That's your manager. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
She's great.
Great.
Back when
Aline
she was my agent when she was an assistant. That's how far back we go. Yeah.
No way.
Oh wow, how about that?
Wait a second. So she was working the phones for the real agent, and that real agent kind of siphoned you off on the junior/receptionist.
Yeah, ICM. It was right since kind of Clueless. Yeah.
Wow. And wait, I want to go back because I didn't know you own a candy store. Can you talk to me about the candy store, please?
Sure.
Like, where
you want
is
an address on it?
We want to cover Sean's
Well, it's called
passions real quick.
Samuel's Sweet Shop, and it's in Rhinebeck, New York.
Wow.
And it was started by a guy named Ira, and it's just this sweet guy, and he passed away sadly when he was very young, and we didn't want the candy store to kind of go away because it's not a big place, not a big town, and all the high school kids would work there, and everyone needs a candy store. And so Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Hillary Burton, who are neighbors of mine, I
know me some Jeffrey Dean.
You do?
I like that guy.
I like all his performances. Sorry.
Anyway, we went in, and another guy named Andy Ostroy, we went in and bought the candy store, and now we run it.
Now Rhinebeck is that you can't walk there from the city, right? That's a trip.
You can. It'll take you a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd need a lot of candy to fuel it.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-hour drive?
It's about a 2-hour drive. Yeah, about an hour, depending on if you're leaving from the Upper West Side, it's about an hour and 45.
Well, I'll get a head start. Jenny Slate also owns a small store like upstate New York. Like
Massachusetts.
A lot of people, oh, never mind. Moving on.
A general store. She has a general store.
Same with
Research here,
Carell.
Paul.
too.
Are we going to
Steve
start
Carell.
going down, Sean? You want to start listing people who also own businesses?
Just come on down
What are
the
you doing?
85 and
You're
let us
ruining-
know.
Paul's got a candy store in Rhinebeck, okay, started by Ira.
And that's it. Wait, so go back. So you met Aline that way, and then you met your wife because you were looking for a publicist. Is that right?
Yes, well, I was the director of Clueless.
You were the director? Oh.
Amy
I was
Heckerling.
not.
Oh, okay.
So the Amy Heckerling said after we filmed Clueless, I knew nothing about anything. I still don't that much, really.
Were you clueless?
I was clueless. Well done, you.
Welcome to SmartLess. Guys, we're cooking with gas today.
Emphasis on
7:30.
smart.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah. By the way, I love Julie, your wife, Julie. She's awesome. I
Oh,
love
thank
her.
you.
Yeah.
And she loves
Julie, that's what it is.
you. Thank you.
Guys, see?
She
I'm all
loves you
pumped
guys.
up.
And she
Love
said to
her.
say hi, and she also said say nice things about her. So I love my wife.
Oh, wow.
And she's an avid listener.
And then we just hear the
loves you
page
guys.
flip, and then you
And no, it's enough of her. And so, what were you talking about?
I was talking
You were
about
looking for a
meeting
publicist.
Julie, looking for a publicist on Clueless, Amy Heckerling.
Paul, you're upstate, so you meet your wife, Julie. You meet her through, she's your publicist. We've been through that. I mean, let's just get down to here are the brass
nobody
tacks.
really cares.
You are a guy who has
They
been...
do, I do.
You've been working at the highest level for over 30 years. And I mean that in a way. You have been consistently doing stuff. Comedy, drama,
Awesome stuff,
all this.
yeah.
Like, right, always
No
at the
missteps.
no
Nothing.
missteps.
Yeah,
No,
not
I
one.
think there are a few.
No,
but I
not even,
No.
Halloween 6, not even that. I saw that. You were fucking great in that. That was 75 years ago. That was so
That's the
good.
first thing I ever did, the first movie.
No, was it really?
Is that true?
Yeah. Now, had you seen the first 5 parts?
Are you
Were you
kidding
lost
me?
in the storyline?
I've seen all of them. I saw all of them.
You saw them all.
Yeah, I
I
love them.
saw the first and loved it. There was 5 more. Is that
No,
right?
there's no. He was
There
in
might
6.
have been even more than that. Yeah. The first
Yeah.
is a classic.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you get to 6, plot holes.
What are you talking
Yeah.
about? I loved it.
Yeah.
There's some shark jumping.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you end up getting killed in that one? Spoiler.
No, I survived.
Do you get a good shot in on him?
I remember. We get into it. We had some scrapes.
Knife fight?
Yeah. Now, because you've done so many movies, do you really truly remember? Sorry, what Jason's asking.
Yeah, no,
like,
I
do you
wait. I
remember?
want to wrap. Oh, what was the weapon that you guys were tossing with?
Oh.
You and Mike
I
Myers.
think I hit him with a pipe.
Okay.
I think I maybe hit him with
That's
a
a
pipe.
good choice.
So you stun him for a second, but then he continues
By the way,
after you.
Didn't
He never
kill him.
runs.
It didn't kill him.
No, that's what's horrifying about Mike Myers is that he never runs. He just walks because he's going to get you.
He just walks.
He's going to take his time.
Really
Did you ever
scary.
do a tie-in around Halloween at the candy store with like photos of yourself from the
That's a
stills
good
from
idea.
the movie? That'd be good.
This is a great. Thank you, Will. That's a great
I don't know.
idea. I haven't done it.
Yeah,
I haven't really done that yet, but maybe
will.
maybe this year.
Write this stuff down.
So you
Paul.
end up surviving 6, but was not in 7. Did you?
No, I didn't. They didn't ask me about 7.
They did like a cast change, like Fargo, or
I think they kind of
God.
went. I want to say in 7 it might have been Josh Hartnett.
they did a White Lotus swap.
That might have been H2O.
Oh, H2O. I remember that
it
one.
came back strong in 7.
If I had been a reviewer of 7 and that you weren't in it, my headline for my review would have been all trick and no treat.
Oh, jeez.
You know?
Oh man.
Yeah.
You know, Paul, you're in a pretty special episode of SmartLess so far. We're only 31 minutes in.
That's really sweet.
And we're not even to the first
29
question
of
yet.
which my microphone went down. But
I know. I did want. I know.
Can I just say also how fun it is? Just to, when to listen
Well,
to
keep
you
your knees
guys.
bent. We're only halfway through.
To listen to you guys before I come on and to hear the jokes, which I really, really liked.
Did you like my urologist joke?
I did like the urologist
See,
joke.
you're the one. Yeah.
I'm a fan of the dad jokes. I heard one not that long ago that I really liked, which was, where do kid melons go for the summer?
Where?
Where?
To John Cougar's melon camp.
Nice. That's a good one.
I've remembered my urologist joke. Guy goes
Okay.
in for a prostate exam.
Shit. Oh
No,
my God,
Jesus.
this is-
Well, no,
Oh,
this is
come
bad.
on. Watch this,
No,
Paul.
it's
Watch
not
this.
gonna happen.
We don't have any
I like a
kids
good
listening
prostate
to this.
exam joke.
No, Paul, watch how you bludgeon a joke. Keep going, Jason. Watch this. Go.
I will
Jason, try
stumble
it.
right
No,
before
try
I
it.
cross, right before I chest the tape. I will fall.
Here we go.
So, guy walks into urologist. Hey, he's got to get his prostate exam, and so he's got to lean over the table. He's got to get the old. And so the doctor says, "Okie doke, here we go. This time, Jimmy, no hard on." And the guy turns around. He says, "My name's Bill." He goes, "Yeah, no, I'm Jimmy."
Yeah.
That's not even.
I've heard Jason try to tell that joke 50
By the way,
times.
it's a great
One
joke.
time he's like, and the guy Paul says, and then Paul says, Jimmy, and he goes, Bill, I'm not Paul, I'm Jim. And I'm like, what are you? And I looked at him
I
like,
know.
what are you doing?
Listen, I don't write. I speak.
Wait, we're gonna get to your
Okay,
life.
here's
life
Sean.
interests.
Sean, I'm going to grab the reins here. So, Paul,
What
so
are you
this-
talking about? I've been
No,
trying.
because you're all gussied up on Pop-Tarts, Paul. So I was saying that you've been at the top of level. So you start out of the gate. You do Halloween 6. It's amazing, but then you do like Clue. You just do so many movies. So how was it that you came? What was the thing? First of all, what was your first professional job? Not necessarily a movie, but how did you know? Like, it seems like you've been doing it at the highest level from moment one. But what was moment one for you? Like, how'd you leave Kansas City? What was that thing? Did you?
Oh
you
yeah,
move
I
to
didn't
New
have
York?
any of those questions prepared. Go ahead. Paul.
Well, fuck, we're 25 minutes in, man.
Whose fault is that?
Well,
Paul's microphone.
it is totally. It's this weak connection that I have. Thank you for saying that, Will. It's not. It's.
Thank you, Colin.
I don't think it's totally true. I've made many missteps, and I've been very fortunate in many instances. But when I was a kid, I just loved comedians. I loved watching SNL and all of that stuff, and listening to Steve Martin albums. And I think that, when I was kind of in school, we had speech class, we had a radio and TV class. I loved watching the David Letterman show, and I used to start making little videos like he used to do.
Yeah.
And I used to perform in speech competitions. And when I was, I want to say about 16 years old, my neighbor in Kansas City said, "What do you think you want to study? What do you think you want to, pursue?" And I said, "I don't know. I like the arts and I like drawing and all of that." And he said, "What about an actor? It seems like that's something that you would maybe like to do." And I think it was some kind of lightning bolt moment where I thought, yeah, maybe that is what I'd like to do. Because I certainly always liked funny stuff and movies and everything else. And it feels like from that moment on, I decided, this is exactly what I'm going to try and pursue. And I then went to school for it, and I studied it. And
what was this humorous interpretation thing? Because we had something similar in high school, but it was called forensics. I don't know why it was called
forensics, exactly. It was called forensics in Kansas City too. And sometimes I would tell people I study forensics, and they think it's like what Quincy did.
Yeah, right. Quincy. Yeah, Quincy for
medicine.
Yeah, for all the young listeners, Quincy.
Do we know why? Do we know why it's called forensics, Sean?
I don't. And in high school, people would be standing against a wall and talking to it, and I didn't know what they were doing, but they were rehearsing, but really close to a wall and talking to a wall. I thought that was the weirdest thing. But now I get it. They were just rehearsing their monologue or their forensics or whatever it was.
You sure you weren't institutionalized? You weren't in an institution at that point?
It looks like an institution.
You may have still been at the hospital, Sean. It wasn't even comedic forensics.
Well, there were different categories. There was dramatic interpretation, humorous interpretation, prose and poetry, improvised duet acting, and
And we will be right back. And now, back to the show.
So, Paul, I heard you were a DJ for a while, right?
Well, I mean, barely. You know, I did.
I thought it was like a long.
I did.
I thought it was a years-long thing.
I really did DJ. But when you say to people that, I used to DJ, that sounds like it was kind of a cool thing. But the way I DJ'd was not cool in any way.
It was like weddings and bar mitzvahs and stuff?
Yeah, bar mitzvahs.
Yep. And by the way, eventually it was that. The first time I DJ'd was... I was in high school.
Just an ice cream truck.
And I went nobody. They're like, "What? We don't even have equipment in this thing." I was trying to get a job as a waiter. Yeah. I was in high school, and I went to different restaurants, and I had really long hair, and I didn't want to cut my hair because I was
you're a G.
I was a cheese ball, and I'm like, I got to keep this.
Yeah, sure. You're crushing it.
So I was getting rejected at every waiting, application I'd fill out. Like, there's no way I couldn't get a job. And I went to this bar called Studebaker's, which was like a 50s bar in Kansas City. Had to be 23 to get in. They didn't want any of the younger crowd.
Wow.
Sure.
Yeah.
They didn't even want new drinkers. You had to have at least 2 years under your belt.
They want some certified 23-year-olds who who's going to go to a 50s bar anyway?
Yeah.
Right.
But you had to be born in the 50s to get in.
to even want to go to this place. Yeah.
That's funny.
And so I went to try and get a job, and they said, we're not hiring. And I saw that they had a DJ booth. And I said, do you need a DJ? Because I also DJ, which is not true. I didn't. But they said, actually, we do. But here's the thing. At Studebaker's, every hour on the hour, we do these things called show times, where all the waiters hop on the bar and they do Born to Hand Jive or some dumb song and dance thing.
Sean, we don't need to, the next sentence out of your mouth doesn't need to be, you mean like this?
Like this.
Yeah. Or are they still in business? Or what are their hours?
Address, please.
That's
Any
right.
of those sentences are a no.
So you lied. So you lied, but you knew you had a stack of wax in the car.
So I lied, and they said, well, here's the thing. You got to audition because we do these show times. So I had to audition with a lip sync of a 50s song.
Which one? I know you still know it.
So I chose Volare. Which was, I just thought it'd be funny because it's in, Italian. But I put on a tuxedo and a pompadour to cover my long hair.
Oh my God.
Like an Elvis wig, right? And so anyway, I got the job.
Yeah.
And then they saw that I had really long hair and they said, you got to cut your hair. We're a 50s bar, not a 60s bar.
Right.
And I said, well, I won't do it. So they made me wear the Elvis wig every time I worked.
Oh, right. You wear the pompadour every time?
Yeah, and it was also a really bad pompadour. So it was a really cheap wig. And so it started to lose its pompadour shape. And it just turned into like a big, weird black tuft of something.
Yeah.
And when I was working, people didn't realize that I had long hair and had to cover it up. So they just thought I was some young
Crazy.
kid with this weird wig. I don't know what they thought. But anyway, that started my DJing career. And then,
well, you know what? It reminds me. You make me think. You hear about famously Michael Jordan when he had his Hall of Fame speech, and then he's being celebrated for being the greatest basketball player, and then he really harped on like his high school coach who cut him from the basketball team and all the people who didn't like that he still hung on to that. And I think we should get stickers made up and go around to these Kansas City establishments that rejected
how you like
and
me now.
stick it on the front window. This place rejected Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Right? Really let that stink linger on him. You know what I mean?
Your hiring practices are ridiculous.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Are ridiculous. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Speaking of your original last name was Rudnitsky. What is it?
Rudnitsky. Down like way back, not while I was born or my grandparents, they were way back, great grandparents. Yeah.
Wow.
Rudnitsky.
Polish?
Like Russian, Belarus, that Eastern European. Yeah.
Have you done the thing where you do the whole look back and like, do you know your people, what they did, where they were,
Yeah.
the wars they fought
Yeah.
in?
And I found that it was mainly kind of like in an area of Belarus. Yeah.
Something
Oh,
cold.
wow.
A town called Holmek.
Oh.
Well,
wow.
if anybody's listening from Holmec,
Holler at your boy.
But now wait, so Paul, you let me tell you if I got this right. You were born in Jersey, moved to Kansas City, had a bar mitzvah in Canada. Your parents were from England.
Yeah.
So you were
bar
all
mitzvah
over
in
the
Canada. Now I'm interested.
place. Yeah. I mean, why
Yes.
why so many different places?
Well, everyone in my family was British. Both my parents, everyone was kind of around London.
Right.
My grandparents were in London, but we moved to the States, and then, or my parents did anyway. Most of the family went to Canada, and so I had grandparents and aunts and uncle in Toronto and in the GTA.
No, he really knows it.
I know it.
Right, eh?
And the way
man.
he said Toronto too. This is
Toronto?
real. Yeah.
I'd walk to the byway, get my Empire Strikes Back cards in French.
Yes.
The byway.
Are you still a Maple Leafs fan?
Byway. Past the Mr. Submarine. This is all for you, Will.
This is such good stuff. Pizza 967.
It's Mr.
11.
Sub, though, isn't it?
Mr. Sub. It's now Mr.
Wait,
Sub.
did you live in Canada?
No, but I'd been going there my whole life.
Yeah.
So, and so most of my relatives were in Canada. So when I had to get a bar mitzvah, my parents said, well, just do it in Canada because that's where most of the family is.
Where was it in Canada? In Toronto?
In Toronto, yeah.
No way. Paul, come home. Come home.
Wait, and so your
Sure.
Yeah.
By the way, great. Yeah, I will.
What? So your parents are in England. Your dad was a tour guide or something, and was the vice president of TWA, and your mom.
Oh no,
right?
he wasn't the vice president. That would have been nice. No, he did work for TWA. TWA was the airline. TWA. Their hub was in Kansas City, which is why we wound up in Kansas
Oh, I
City.
see. Got it.
When my dad left London when he was a kid, he was about 9 years old, and then they moved to New Jersey, his family, and they were in Paterson, New Jersey. And but he eventually started working with TWA before I was born, and he kept getting job transfers. So we moved around a lot when I was a kid. I was born in New Jersey, and then I lived in New Jersey, and then I moved to Kansas for about a year, and then I moved to California for a few years, and then I moved back to Kansas. So we moved around quite a bit. As
what about all the moving around and stuff? Was there like that? It's giving me anxiety. All the
I know.
schools
And then
like,
LA.
all the kids. Oh, look at the
did you
new
guys
kid.
did you grow up in one spot?
Yes.
Did you always? I mean, Jason, you were always LA.
Since
right?
I was 7, I've been in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Where were you before that?
I was in Salt Lake City from 4 to 7. I was in Boston from 2 to 4, and I was in New York from 0 to 2. Just outside in Rye.
Right.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
But what about you adapting into all those different environments? Did you have a sibling to sort of protect you, or did you do the protecting?
I have a younger sister. She's 2.5 years younger than me. And I think, we always were just kind of the new kids in school. We got very used to it. We didn't really know any different.
But like, did that shape your, at an age where you're kind of learning your personality and kind of what your strong suit is and what isn't, are you funny? Are you, blah, blah, like, did you find that you were perhaps made you nicer earlier because you had to be accepted by these new groups all the time?
Yeah.
Possibly. I sometimes think that, a good way to kind of ingratiate yourself or just not get your ass kicked is to just be kind of pleasant. And if you can make somebody laugh, then you can be accepted a little bit easier.
Yeah, totally.
I certainly was drawn and always have been drawn to people who are funny. I mean, my dad was hilarious. And I think that, when I'd be, probably in some new school or something, I'd go home and I'd listen to those Steve Martin records or...
that album, Get Small. Did you ever listen to that?
Yeah.
What about British humor? Because my mom's British as well, and she really shaped my taste in dry kind of no winking, humor. Did your dad do that for you?
Well, I think that some of the earliest things I could really remember laughing at was they used to show Monty Python's Flying Circus on PBS.
Yeah, I loved it.
And my parents loved it, and we'd watch it, and I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I never really understood or thought in terms of like British comedy or a British sensibility, but I did always respond to that. And then when Faulty Towers was on, it was just
one of my favorite shows of all time.
But it's like,
Oh, you guys like that?
Monty Python's a great example because...
Oh, holy shit. There's no way. You guys like Faulty Towers? Sean? Sean, you really like that? Fucking let the world know, man.
Yeah, you guys discovered this. But like Monty Python, there's the broad half of the troupe, and then there's like the dry half of the troupe. Like there's Michael Palin, being crazy and goofy, and then you cut to John Cleese, and he's just blinking at him like, you fool. Which were you drawn to? Was it the John Cleese side since you went to Faulty Towers?
Well, Cleese is always hilarious. I think there was like an absurdity to it, and there was also something. It might have been the first time, and maybe why I was drawn to Steve Martin as well. But it was like, oh my God, there are grown-ups that are being completely silly. I remember that Twit of the Year competition as a kid, and crying. I couldn't believe how funny it was to see these grown-ups acting this way. And I mean, there was still so much same with Steve Martin, where it was this kind of ridiculous, I'm getting happy feet kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to know about glazing hams, because that was one of your odd jobs out of school. What do you mean glazing hams? What does that even mean?
It means glazing hams. Yeah.
Like, what is that though? What do you mean?
Did you work at Honey Baked Ham?
No, that was our competitor.
Sorry.
No.
What do you mean glazing them though?
It's still touchy.
Yeah.
The hot spot.
Look, it just please don't bring that up to anyone at Holiday Ham Company, because they had a real issue with Honey Baked.
Wait, but how do you glaze a ham? Like, what do you do?
It's a whole process, Sean.
Let's keep it clean here.
Sounds like a YouTube how-to video. How do you glaze a ham?
Is it like in a factory?
No. It was in a mini mall. And
I see, like personalized ham.
It was a standalone store.
Oh, got it.
Honey
Okay.
Baked, I believe, is a chain, isn't it?
Okay,
Right?
got it.
Yeah.
I just wanted. I was
by the
really
way,
curious.
No, I don't mean to besmirch Honey Baked.
No, for
No,
sure.
no. Nobody took it that way. No.
Oh, thanks.
I think we're a public company by now.
There's one thing I don't want to do. It's piss off the people at Honey Baked Ham.
No.
Old
Paul,
HBH.
you don't have a target on your back now. Don't worry, from the gang over at Honey Glazed, okay?
I love. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no. What do you love?
No, you go. You go. What are you gonna say?
Guys, don't fight.
All right.
I was gonna. You
no,
go.
Jesus. No, you go.
This is a great
Please.
bit.
It is a great bit.
it-
It's the
it
new
almost
Laurel and
seems-
Hardy.
I want to know where you worked.
Oh. I worked at the Holiday Ham Company. That
No,
was
you're
the
going
name
to say
of it.
something else about working.
So I worked at this place.
Yeah.
And it was a whole, when I say it was a whole process, I would get there very early in the morning and I would unload a truck filled with ham.
Naked
There are
ham.
a lot of-
these aren't glazed yet, right?
These are unglazed.
Oh, you're talking
What?
unglazed hams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bald
Now,
hams.
by the way, this isn't like pigs hanging in a truck. These were ham hocks. Are they hocks?
They can be.
Sure.
And they were cryovac'd, vacuum sealed.
Oh, wow.
And what I would have to do is unload a truck at like 5 a.m, and then I would have to cut open.
Release them from their sheaths.
Yes, exactly. Cut open the plastic. And then I would have to put these entire ham hocks.
So far, I haven't heard one thing that we're going to keep in the episode, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely, it's boring myself as I even listen to myself describe it.
So there you are. You're unloading. You got a truck full of unglazed
So I got a truck.
hams.
So I got to put it on a thing. I slice it. I dice it, a whole thing. I got to cut it in half with a saw. I put it on a spit, and then I take a propane torch and a sugar sifter, and I have to wear protective gear on my wrists. And,
Same approach to acting. Same approach to your acting.
That's exactly right.
Right.
That is how I approach all of my roles.
And how long were you longer in this job than you were at the Bevic's place, the 50s joint?
Oh, at the
Studebaker's.
Yeah, it's Studebaker's. I went from Studebaker's to Holiday Ham Company, so
Did you cut your hair before you were handling those hams? Sorry, can I ask, did you have the long hair when you were handling the hams, or did you have hair?
Yeah, they didn't care.
But you had to put that shit in a net, though, didn't you?
By the way, I think I had it in a net.
Yeah.
And
net the hair.
Yeah. It was in a net. I was in the back. So if I was up front dealing with customers,
Sure.
there's no
You
way
snap
they'd
that
allow
off.
it.
Yeah.
There's no way they'd
Comb
allow
it out.
Yeah. Now,
I can only imagine, though, at least one or two of those long hairs were getting glazed into the ham.
But I just thought it would be a good Italian place called I Can Only Imagine. It's just cannolis. Okay. So it's terrible. It's terrible stuff. It's Saturday. It's Saturday, and it's free. And it's free. So go ahead, Sean. Sean, get to your laundry list of questions and forget trying to have a conversation with Paul Rudd.
Well,
Okay.
let me help
Go
you
down
out, Sean.
and fucking
Paul,
check off your
Paul,
fucking.
Have you
we
done
got
any
Paul
theater?
fucking Rudd here. He's one of the most handsome. By the way, Paul, and I've seen it in stuff before. No. You always look so fucking good.
So handsome.
You're so handsome. You're so
handsome
good.
fella.
We're around the same age. What are you doing? Honestly, just an email with a couple tips.
Olive oil bag.
8 hours a day. You say the most important thing is 8 hours a day. That's what you say.
It isn't what I said. I think I said something about sleep once where it was like, oh yeah, this you try and get enough sleep. But
I sleep a lot. I don't look anything like you.
Can I you know what the secret is?
What?
Love.
Yeah, Julie.
Oh my God.
That's our time.
Yeah.
That's our
Who
time.
knew?
Love and laughter.
You saved it,
knew?
then Julie will have you back
This
now.
is
Who knew?
This is ugh.
We'll be right back.
And now back to the show.
No, seriously, Paul, anything weird ever happen on stage? Real quick before we're out of time?
No. Well, yeah. You did a lot of theater. Do you have, I don't know if you listen to the podcast, but I love good theater stories where something
I
went wrong.
know, of course.
Yeah.
I do. And
Do you have anything ready?
Or you can sub it out for a Star Wars story if you ever audition
No, I have
for
I have
it,
lots of
or-
other questions.
of great theater stories.
Yeah. Something bad happened in the theater. Something.
Oh, something really bad. Yeah, no. I've done a show where somebody died in the audience
On stage?
Yeah, there was
in the
a
audience.
death. There was a death. There was a death in the audience. There was somebody went to the bathroom in like the fourth row. That was an interesting thing to get a whiff of that during the scene.
No way.
Somebody lost control of their bowels.
So not only did you kill, but you acted the shit out of that part.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Thanks, guys.
Well, it wasn't me that did it.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, that would be horrifying.
Wait, what was the show and somebody really died?
Somebody died last night of Ballyhoo was the show. These were two separate occasions.
Okay.
Unless I'm conflating them and they shit themselves and
When they die, because that often happens. Right,
By the
when they
way,
die.
it's often,
Yeah.
I think it even happens in the other order where it's like you die and then you wind up just shitting yourself. That's a thing that happens.
So wait, so the person died.
I've had somebody, by the way, I've also done a show where somebody, in the middle of a scene, I heard a bunch of commotion in the audience and then didn't realize it didn't subside. So it's like, what is happening? Only later came to realize that somebody in the front row of the balcony leaned over and puked on all of the people below them.
Oh my God.
No way. Swear to God. Yeah. It was a show called Grace. And there was a scene, and I was doing it with Michael Shannon.
No
and Michael
way.
Shannon had this long monologue. We're doing the scene. It's just the two of us. We hear this noise. We're both aware that, like, there's a commotion. But usually it dies down and it's getting louder and louder. And Michael is pissed off and starts screaming his lines toward the direction of the noise.
To make a point.
Which, of course, when Michael Shannon is yelling at you, like it's the most terrifying thing ever. It's the thing that did make everybody kind of quiet down. And then after this scene, I have to rush over to the wings to do a costume change. And I asked the stage manager, I said, what the hell's what happened out there? And he's the one that said, somebody threw up. Somebody was drunk and threw up over the balcony, and it puked onto about 10 different people.
I'm covered in barf.
This show's not for you, huh? Fucking matinees.
That's amazing.
Should have seen the Lion King. Yeah. So, yeah.
That was a great button.
Fucking wait, Sean, this is like your fucking dream come true.
I
Paul's
know,
got a million
finally.
great theater stories.
I
wait,
know.
Talk about the person who died. I mean,
learn that after the fact. Like, oh my God. They had to close down, and then eventually they had to bring somebody, like a stretcher, to get somebody out of there. It's like, oh, wow. It's weird. I mean, you hear of people dying on stage.
Yeah.
But you don't hear as much about people dying near the stage.
Yeah. But so you stopped the show, yeah? You stopped and right?
No, we did
You
not
didn't keep
stop.
going. You kept going?
I don't think.
dude, are you kidding? Are you kidding?
No.
He killed
By the way, died.
the guy.
we slayed him. Yeah, died nearing the end of the show.
Yeah.
And
So you finished.
I'm not so sure
Yeah.
anyone realized
Oh, right.
until
it was over.
until people were shuffling out of the theater. And one guy
That
stayed.
sounds like a nice, peaceful passing.
Yeah. It was definitely a courteous way to go for us, for the actors.
That's great. Now,
Sean, I know you have plenty.
I think I've told every single good one.
I know.
On here.
Is there one you haven't told yet?
I mean, I'd have to think about it.
Me and Raina are at the dinner theater.
Yeah, right.
By the way, I had one. Now they're all kind of coming, they're flooding back. I did a scene, I was lying on top of a bed. I was doing a scene, I was lying on top of a bed, and I'm with this woman, Rachel Weisz was in the show, and I was wearing boxer shorts and a t-shirt, and all of a sudden, this had never happened before, I heard the audience laughing, and I'm like, what is going on? And I realized it's because I was lying on the bed, I had my leg up and kind of like, and I realized my balls were hanging out. No.
Wait.
Which is worse than actually like even your
schwanz.
penis.
Yeah.
It's like when it's just your balls.
Or just one ball.
By the way, it might have been just one ball, but it was loose.
You know what's crazy
boxers.
about that?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about that? Your balls were showing in that show, and the show was The Shape of Things.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Nice.
That's exactly right. That was the
your ball.
show.
Yeah,
The
good.
Shape of Things. Yeah.
That's nice.
They were
That's nice.
pendulous.
I have one that's not as racist.
The Shape of Things should have been, and the poster should have been your balls hanging out of shorts.
I think we've all seen the shape of those things.
With the great Fred Weller, with our mutual friend Fred Weller, whom we
great
adore.
Fred. Yes.
Great
the
Fred
best.
Weller.
Yeah, you guys go back.
Do
We
you?
go back. Wait.
Yeah, what's another one of mine? Mine is we were doing West Side Story. This isn't as funny, but we were doing West Side Story, and the Jets and the Sharks, and when they negotiate the rumble, they say knives, guns, pipes, fists, whatever. And this one guy,
Dance.
Darren, yeah, well, you just blew the joke, but but no, it's like that. So Darren, my friend Darren, who's the most gayest man on the face of the planet, and wears it with a badge of honor. He's very, very, very funny. But he was a Jet, and he's trying to act tough. And during performance 250, they go guns, knives, pipes, fists, and he just jumps out and he goes purses. Same joke as dance.
I guess.
It's funny. You had to be there. All right. So listen, when you're scrolling through, because you've been in, I want to go through before you leave. Oh my God, I had all these
You're
things.
in an
about
hour 10. Let this guy get back into his weekend.
I know. Sorry, Wild Oats.
No,
and
but his
Clueless
credits,
and,
your credits are fucking sick.
Wet Hot American Summer and Friends. You run on Friends. Was an Anchorman. By the way. And then 40-Year-old Virgin and Knocked Up and working with Judd Apatow and Role Models and Ant-Man that you wrote. I didn't know you wrote Ant-Man. That's crazy.
No shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well,
guy-
one of them. One of the writers. It was originally written by Edgar Wright,
Who I
who's
just
a great
worked with,
director.
who's the
Yeah,
best.
He's the best.
I love
the
him.
best.
We love Edgar. He's a friend of the show.
Yeah.
He's a
He's
friend
great.
of the show.
He should come on,
I
Willie.
adore him.
Yeah.
So wait, what do you
It might need to be a two-parter.
Yeah, I know. There's so many things.
I know.
But wait,
shit. You get into the fucking credits or crazy.
I know.
Go, Sean.
And, but anyway, so
You don't
friendship
have to
though.
get into my credit. Honestly,
No, but it's incredible.
But the people, they want to know Paul.
I know.
You know?
They want to know about the moments and the movies with
can't
the thing
believe
with
they
all
didn't
the
even ask him
Apatow
about-
years.
I know.
I mean, you and Judd collaborated on so many of those movies that were huge seminal comedies.
Yeah.
That really
One of
kind
the
of
define-
changed.
yeah.
You think about it, at that time when you guys did 40-Year-Old Virgin, that really changed the trajectory of comedy films. Like it kind of went into it
Judd
created
did it
a whole
few
new
times,
lane.
The great Judd Apatow.
Yeah.
He launched all kinds of folks.
Yeah. Well, he's great. There was the
greatest.
first time I ever met Judd. Was it really is a weird thing. I don't know if you guys feel this way about those Steve Martin records. I know we've talked about them a lot, but it seems as if a lot of people in our generation, those albums had a big effect on them.
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah.
And as did Steve Martin in general. And one time I was at a dinner and I was talking about fake names and how it's so difficult to come up with a perfect, funny fake name. And I said a great example is Gurn Blanston, which was from an early Steve Martin routine. And someone at the dinner said, Gurn Blanston, oh, that explains Judd Apatow's email address.
Oh, wow.
And I think at this time there was only AOL. I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, he's like Gurn Blanston. I don't think he has this anymore in case anybody wants to email him. Anyway, I went home and emailed Judd. I'd never met him.
No way.
And I said, hey, man, nice reference on your email address. That's amazing. And he emailed me back.
And that's how you guys started.
And that's how we met. And then
Wow.
That's amazing.
he emailed me back and said, oh, I'm glad you've emailed me. It's nice to connect with you. Now I know who to hit up if I ever need tickets to a new Neil Abute play, because I've just done a bunch of Neil Abute plays. Anyway, we kept emailing each other for about a year. We became kind of pen pals. Never met each other. And it wasn't until Anchorman that I actually met him in person.
Wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
And when I went into
amazing.
audition, he was there, and it was a little bit like, meeting your pen pal. That it's like, oh my God, wow, I can't believe there you are. I can touch
Person
you.
who's been catfishing.
Yeah.
I didn't want to touch him, but
Better being real. Yeah.
Now that your character in Anchorman looks very similar to the character in Friendship. Was that on purpose?
No, it wasn't on purpose. Although in Friendship, in the script, the character that I was playing was originally called Brian, which was the name of my character in Anchorman.
Wow.
And I thought maybe we should change that name, just because I also have another mustache. The mustache was just something. It seemed like, this is the kind of thing that this guy would probably.
Yeah, for
pride
sure.
in.
It was a weatherman. He's a weatherman. And so it's really funny. You're so good in it, and the movie is so great.
Well, I got to say, Tim, it's really Tim, and Tim is so funny. And I don't know if you've ever watched I Think You Should Leave, which I think you probably have.
he's a brilliant.
He's incredible.
Brilliant.
I mean,
don't
he
know the
really
guy
has
at
his
all. He's
own
brilliant.
take on all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And that
Original
was
voice.
just such a blast to kind of get to work with him and see what he was.
Paul, have you ever seen his
doing.
show? What is it? Detroit? Is it just called
Detroiters. Yeah.
Detroiters.
What's his name? Tim what?
Detroiters is
Robinson.
incredible.
Tim
It's
Robinson.
incredible. Yeah,
You would love him, Jason.
I remember I met him when he was a writer on SNL, and everyone, even at that time at SNL, said, "Oh, well, I mean, this guy Tim Robinson's the funniest.
Yeah.
He's the most
And he
unique.
directed and wrote and is an actor in this film, Friendship?
He is starring in it. He didn't write it. It might be the only thing I think he's ever done that he didn't write. However, the guy who directed it is a guy named Andrew DeYoung.
Yeah, he's great.
He also wrote it, and he's friends with Tim and completely captures Tim's voice. I mean, when I read it, I would have sworn that Tim wrote it.
Was there a lot of improv on the movie?
I mean, there was some, but it's funny when we kind of started. Tim we were talking about it, and Tim said, let's take out all of the jokes. He wanted no jokes. And so it wasn't really like this, perceived as this silly comedy. I mean, I know that Andy, the director, said that he envisioned The Master, the Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
Yeah,
it seems like we could do like a weird comedy version, but very strange of that. And so it wasn't really, there was certainly some improvisation, but neither one of us was trying to really hit anything too funny.
And I apologize. Is this? Can we see this now?
It's coming out. Can't see it now. I think it's coming out in, I don't know, April or May or.
How the fuck did Sean see it?
I got a little screen.
He gets a link. So depending on when this airs, perhaps So April, May. It's a spring release on this, huh?
Yeah.
Spring release,
like all the beautiful things that come out in the spring. Huh?
Well, we're really excited about it. We're really excited about you, Paul. We love you.
Paul,
you're a tremendous
Paul,
talent.
I'm really excited
so
and bullish
happy.
about your career. I think you're going to do great.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be doing this, and like it's you guys are so awesome. The show is so funny. I'm so happy to be on this finally.
Yeah, I mean,
I know.
Finally.
It's a crime.
We broke
It's
a lean
crime.
down and we got you here.
Yeah.
No.
And
This is look. You guys have. You got a lot of people to talk to. I'm honored to be one of them.
Wow, we're very, very happy that you came.
Yeah, honored that
Thank
you
for
came.
spending some
I
Saturday.
sure
with
wish
us.
my connection was better. Because
No. Don't think twice about that. Don't worry about
more about it.
the
I'm not going
gang
to say
at the-
anything.
At Honey Hams or your Wi-Fi connection, none of it. Don't think.
I'm not going to. Yeah.
We didn't talk about the Royals. We didn't talk about the Chiefs. We didn't talk
nobody
about
wants
the
to talk
Blues.
about that shit,
Dodgers.
dude. Nobody wants to talk about that.
By the way, well
you
done
want to
on the
lose
Dodgers.
you really want to lose the audience? Shut up, baby.
Part
You don't
two.
even know who
Part
Tim
two,
Robinson
Rudd.
is.
You get 2 U's. You get 2 episodes.
I tell you who would turn the volume up: Jason Sudeikis and Claire McCaskill. That's who.
You're right.
Yeah, they would.
What's Bobby Witt gonna do this year?
And the great Dan Dees, also of Kansas City fame. The great Dan Dees, friend of the show.
great Dan Dees.
Good
Yeah, I
friend,
love
good
Dan
friend of
Dees.
ours.
Double D.
Paul Rudd,
Paulie,
you're just
good to see you, my friend.
Guys,
All
you're
the
a
love
world
to you
champ.
and Julie and the
You're a world
kids.
champ. You're world class.
Tip top.
Thank you.
Tip
Yeah.
top, Paul.
You guys are the best. And I can't wait to see you in person. It can't come here soon enough.
Yeah,
We'll be up
I
there at
am.
the candy shop soon.
Yeah, we're gonna do a SmartLess outing. Let's do a live show from the candy shop.
Oh, there we go.
What do you
Look,
say?
anytime you want. Clodhoppers for all of you. Free.
That's a good fake name.
I know something.
Clodhopper.
We're sweet on you, Paul.
Oh, there it is.
All right.
I mean,
Beautiful button. What a button.
a candy button.
I'm on my way to I can only believe it.
Paulie, have a great day. We
Paul
love you.
Rudd.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Paul.
Love you guys. Thanks so much.
Yes.
Thanks,
Goodbye.
dude.
Take care. Bye.
Bye, pal. Paul Rudd. Paul
Paul
what
Rudd.
can you say?
I mean, we've said this before about people, but that is an overdue of overdues.
Yeah, I know.
How-
Should have
right?
been on for a
It's
long time
almost
ago.
embarrassing how overdue
I
we are.
feel bad I didn't get into his stuff, like all the...
You didn't get into anything, Sean. This is one of the least prepared episodes I've ever seen you host. And I can't believe a former remember, Jason, a former host of the year nominee. Remember?
Yo,
Who,
for
me?
sure. Well, you know, but if he gets into the sugar like any fucking little 3-year-old, you can't count on him.
Guys, I've failed you again.
I bet they are regretting that nomination a couple years ago in that gang when they.
Well, aren't you on that board too?
Yeah. The iHeartRadio.
Well, yeah.
No. Well, these days I'm only bored when you're hosting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I do think if we ever soften on the repeat guest policy you guys are
Yes.
enforcing, like fucking
Live show. He'd be a live show.
Oh, that'd
Oh
be
yeah,
a good live show.
Paul be a good live.
show.
We could just
bring
go
him
through
on
all
back.
its credits and talk about funny stories.
Yeah, we'll go
Right?
funny stories.
I love that.
Yeah, I do like that man a
But
lot.
Willie, remember when he was talking about walking in Canada and he was walking on the, what was it?
Bye. Here comes a bye. Here
He was walking on the
He went to the
byway.
bye.
SmartLess is 100% organic and artisanally handcrafted by Rob Armjarv, Bennett Barbaco, and Michael Granteri.
SmartLess.